wasn't quite sure that I was going to be able to make this video, but just this past week, Rocksteady lifted the NDA on the closed alpha for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League that took place nearly a month ago. So I was able to participate in this closed alpha. Unfortunately, I was not able to record any footage, so all the footage that you see here is B-roll material and previously released trailer footage that Rocksteady or Warner Brothers Games has posted themselves. So I'll just get right into the meat and potatoes. This alpha turned me from a wait and see approach to me pre-ordering the deluxe edition of the game because I need to play it as soon as possible. This game is set in the Arkham universe that Arkham Asylum, City, and Knight took place in, and I'll tell you right now, this isn't going to be the Arkham game that most of you will want, and from the outside looking in, you can easily mistake this as just an Avengers clone, but this game is much more than that, and after playing the alpha, really proved that in more ways than one.
When I think of the Justice League, I think of Wonder Woman, Superman, Green Lantern. You don't want to mess with that lot. But you, Barry, you're just the team mascot, aren't you, mate? The loser of the league, folks. The fastest man alive. It's the Flacker.
Now, in my time with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, I was able to play for roughly 10 hours over the course of an alpha weekend, and I came away thoroughly impressed with not just the story and characters, but the gameplay as well. Early on, you're dropped into Metropolis and treated to a tutorial that allows you to play as each of the members of the squad. You have Deadshot, Harley Quinn, King Shark, and Captain Boomerang, which is who I spend a majority of my time playing as. One thing that this game already has over Avengers is that Metropolis is an open world and you're able to freely move around the map. Whereas in Avengers, you were limited based on the mission instance that you were loaded into, and even then, the verticality of those areas was not well suited to the characters we were playing as. Here in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, there's a heavy emphasis on movement and traversal, with each character having a special way of getting around the map. Deadshot has his jetpack, Harley has a repurposed bat glider, Boomer has a Speed Force gauntlet that he stole from the Hall of Justice, and, well, King Shark has his own way of getting around.
I can make my own way up.
Well, tickle me stupid. Sharks can fly.
I like that each of these characters, with the limited time that I had with them, all felt varied and different and not just some carbon copy and a clone of each other, which is something that started to plague Avengers when heroes were getting added post-launch. You will see me compare this game a lot to Avengers and you might get sick of it, and as someone who has over 225 hours put into the Avengers, I feel like it's nice to have that contrast between the two games and share my experience. If the alpha is any indication, it's safe to say that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is singing all the right notes to get me excited. The story I originally thought was going to be this game's one saving grace. It was going to be the one thing that kept me playing, the one reason that I would buy it, and after playing through the opening chapters, it's just the cherry on top. The Justice League have been taken over by Brainiac and are now wreaking havoc on the streets of Metropolis. The heroes who had once sworn to protect the people of Metropolis were now killing anyone that doesn't submit to them and join their ranks of Brainiac. It's here that Task Force X is sent in by Amanda Waller, and you are given the task of finding and killing the members of the Justice League.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
Or she'll detonate a bomb that is placed inside your head. Early on, you get a sense for how the squad dynamic is going to play, with Deadshot being the hard ass most of the time, Harley cracking jokes, Boomer with his crude humor, and King Shark speaking in literal terms. Their chemistry early on is what really drew me into the group at the start, and with each interaction they had as a group. Some people might find it overbearing, or the fact that they never shut up. I liked it because they're constantly talking shit, shooting the shit with each other, and I liked it because they don't really want to be there and they don't really want to be a team, but they really have no other choice. In contrast to the squad members, we have each of the Justice League members that we meet and are beautifully done, as they are clearly able to demonstrate their powers and just how much of a threat even one of them would be to the team. There are 3 members of the League that I was able to interact with during my time playing the game. The first one was John Stewart's Green Lantern, who can construct anything with the power of his mind and a lantern ring. Then we have arguably my favorite DC character of the bunch, the Flash, who is able to move at the speed of light. Now tell me, how the hell are we supposed to take these two guys out? And I even mentioned the scariest one of all. Batman. It's hard to talk about Batman without addressing the last performance for Kevin Conroy as Batman, who's been one of the main voices for the character over the past 20 years across animation, TV, and games. Kevin, you'll be truly missed, and I can't wait to see what you do with your final performance as Batman. And if the sequence that I played is any indication, I think we're in for a fucking show. These story moments, I suspect, are going to carry the shit out of this game. And that's not to say the gameplay isn't good, because it is. It's really good, I think. It's just that the story that we have on offer here is really, I think, going to blow some people away. One other aspect of the game that I was worried about was the gunplay. It was actually something that I found to be quite enjoyable on both controller and mouse and keyboard. I would liken it to how Anthem felt when firing your weapons. That's the closest sort of comparison, I would say, but you can actually shoot your guns while you're hovering and floating in the air in this game, unlike Anthem. There's a good amount of recoil and feedback in most places, but it does boil down to what characters that you are playing as and what weapons you're using, as particular characters can only access certain weapons. King Shark, for instance, is only able to use LMGs and heavy weapons, where Boomerang is more up close and personal with SMGs and shotguns. With this game being a looter, the weapons are going to have a rarity and stat drops that will change up how the weapons perform. Weapons are also beholden to weapon manufacturers like LexCorp, WayneTech, Amertech, and more. With LexCorp weapons being more scientific, calculated, Amertech weapons are going to be all over the place. These weapons can further be tweaked to add different attachments to change how they might perform or feel in battle. Gear sets are also present, which takes a page out of the Division's playbook in that if you're wearing certain pieces of armor from a particular manufacturer, you'll get bonuses or a buff that change based on the number of items that you're wearing from that particular gear set. While I walked into the gameplay side of things being a little more apprehensive than I normally would have been, since Rocksteady isn't known for its tight shooter gameplay, and their last shooter was Urban Chaos, which was released back in 2006 for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. But after the closed alpha test, I think they did a solid job with the overall character and the gunplay as well. One of, if not the biggest questions surrounding this game is, can they pull off the live service model that they're positioning here? Rocksteady haven't outright called it a games as a service yet, but when your game has a seasonal model with a battle pass attached to it, new content that is going to be added in each of those seasons, let's also not forget that there is a cash shop that you will be able to purchase skins for all the characters. Yeah, it's a live service game, whether or not Rocksteady will call it one. The mission and enemy design does leave a lot more to be desired, but then again, I only had a small portion and slice of the game to experience, and I walked away from the alpha with a lot more positives than I had negatives. There were some issues with controller prompts and performance, but I was expecting that with an alpha. I didn't expect it to be very rock solid or whatnot, but me being the huge DC fan that I am, having an open world filled to the brim with Easter eggs, lore about some of my favorite characters, I think I was bound to like it. But if Rocksteady can nail that post-launch and live service plans, I think we've got a good game on our hands, and one that I will come to love. I will have a full review of the game at launch, which will go more in-depth on the story and gameplay systems, as well as talking about the post-game activities. If you did make it this far, thank you for taking the time out of your day, and this has been my preview of the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Thank you for watching.
You have to kill us, Diana. We have to die to save the world.